Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
This hour sponsored by Better. Better Picks, a daily fantasy sports app where your sports knowledge turns into real cash fast. Download Better. Visit better.app now. Sign up today. Get free money and no deposit necessary. Better.app, BETR. Half an hour, we'll go out to Hawaii, check in with Youmans live with the Hawai'i Bowl. We always got action. Totals come down. 54 down to 50.5 now, and Youmans has a play on the game and a weather update as well after Chang, the head coach, said we're going to put on a show. Cal and Hawaii coming up. Pauly and Marc Malusis, follow the money. Triple header tomorrow in the NFL, my friend. The news is official. It'll be Johnson for Washington. That makes it all three home teams going with a third-string quarterback. Dallas up to 8.5. They're 14-1 to the over in the first half. They're 3-12 ATS in the first quarter. Horrendous defense. Dak says they're still going to fight and play hard. Rivalry game. Dallas kicked their ass in the first meeting. See if the journeyman can do anything and make some magic here. But this is tough, too, where Johnson did struggle. And then you also have the short turnaround where I'm going short week and then another short week. And I go rivalry game for the Commanders. And Dallas hung in there for a half, and then the Chargers pulled away from them. Dallas up to 8.5 here in this one with a high total of 50.5. I don't know, a lot of unknowns here, and let's start with Johnson. You know what you think he can do, Mark?
Yeah, I mean, the one thing, Paulie, would be is he's been around the block. He's basically played for every team in the NFL. When you look at him, so
yeah,
I mean, he's
incredible.
been there, done that. So I mean, it's been remarkable the fact that he's hung around as long as he has, Paulie. But it's just not a position to be successful. But you throw in the lack of motivation, regardless of what Dak says. I mean, disappointing end to the season when you're looking at the Dallas Cowboys. With the way that it's looked the last three games, the Lions lost, then the loss to the Vikings and J.J. McCarthy, and obviously, last week's loss to Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers. Now you go on the road, rivalry game, division game, all of that kind of stuff. Early Christmas Day, you don't want to go out there and embarrass yourself. I just think there's limitations when you look at Johnson offensively, and that's why you see this line continue to go up, and it becomes harder and harder to make an argument for the Washington Commanders because if Dallas goes out there and if Dak plays efficient offensively, can you really think Johnson can even against a bad Cowboys defense, can Johnson go out there and orchestrate an offense to keep pace with Dak, Pickens, and CeeDee Lamb? And that's difficult to envision.
They would, right? Horrible Washington defense as well. Dallas would have to be sloppy. We got our Aubrey props as well, the best kicker of all time. How about Dallas' longest made field goal in the game, which you have to like? But this is the one case, the one thing we can look at. And you have most passing yards tomorrow. Josh Johnson, 16-1. As you said, journeyman, been around all these teams, played with just about everyone, 4 different leagues. If I'm getting blown out and I'm forced to throw and play catch-up for the second half, that's your angle, right? Because, they're giving up so many yards. The numbers are with us. There's only 3 games. I would have to throw. Peyton could sit Knicks for a quarter and a half, could be a blowout. Who knows what the kid's going to do from South Dakota State. Brosmer was a mess the first time around. That could be a blowout. The numbers and the odds are with us here, I think, that Johnson can have most passing tomorrow, 16-1.
Well, and then if you rank the quarterbacks, right? So if you go through the 6 quarterbacks, you've got Brosmer going for Minnesota, Goff going for Detroit. Detroit obviously wants to try and establish the run. The Giants wanted to run the football against Minnesota, so they want to try and get Gibbs going, right? You got the 3rd-string quarterback going for Kansas City. You got Bo Nix going for Denver, and then it's Dak, and obviously it's Johnson for the Washington Commanders. And on that list, you would have Johnson as the 4th best quarterback that's playing on Christmas Day, right? I mean, that's it, right? So, and then you're looking at game flow and how games do play out and saying there's 2 different pathways. Either they're trailing the entire game, you got to play catch up. So, they're cutting it loose, ripping it to try and get themselves back into it. Or if you go on the idea that I think this is going to be a competitive game, back and forth, really high scoring, really offensive, 2 bad defenses. So then that also plays to Johnson's favor as well. And you're getting 16-1 on Johnson to have the most passing yards on Christmas Day.
Yes, 8-7 against 7-8. Detroit against Minnesota, the middle game. This is up to 7. By the way, here at Circa, Dallas is up to 9.5 now. How about that? That line was 7 at some spots before the Johnson.
What do you think it closes at?
Good question. Also here, you're right, because of the hedging standpoint, too, with what these guys could do, come in the contest and betting 900, 1,000, whatever, 900,000 on a money line and what it could be. Probably gets, 10? Does it go over 10, you think? Did it get to 10.5? Oh, my God.
I mean, it has gone up a point since we hit the airwaves. It was 8.5. Now it's 9.5. It might get to 10.5.
Yeah. Okay. So Lions now. So you're telling me there's a chance they have to win out. Green Bay has to lose out. Horrible job against Pittsburgh. Horrible job defensively, again, dealing with so many injuries. Third string center, everything they had to go through. Couldn't run the ball against Pittsburgh. Minnesota, great defensively. Everything the charts ran down with the numbers and the strong case for Gibbs props under. What can Minnesota do on offense with this guy? Where you got to put the training wheels on him, as he was so bad against Seattle, and you saw that. But I think they're going to treat this a little bit like Steichen treated Rivers' first start, where you saw it at the end of the Giants game. Milk clock, shorten the game, run the ball, and go very, very conservative in short stuff and try to shorten this game and limit the possessions.
Right, and the one thing that would favor Brosmer is this, regardless of what you and I think of him, and is really not all that much, right, is that the Lions' defense stinks. I mean, and the secondary is really bad. And so, and you've got weapons in Addison and Jefferson and so on and so forth. Now, there's other guys that obviously are out for Minnesota tomorrow, and you ran through that list earlier on the show, Pauly, that for the Minnesota Vikings, and they've obviously got nothing to play for, but that could be the benefit. You look at Detroit on the season, I think they're 7-8 against the spread on the season, right? So the best unit on the field, you can make the argument, has been Brian Flores and that Vikings defense. They are home in the game, and maybe things break their way and shake their way, because the Lions have, and each and every guy on that team understand, yes, they're still mathematically alive, but it's going to take a lot for them to get into the playoffs in the NFC, given the nature of the fact that they need to win 2 straight and the Packers have to lose 2 straight. Even with all that, I have a hard time taking Minnesota, even though they're home, plus the points. I would lean Detroit in the game, but that would be the argument for Minnesota.
Denver up to 13.5. It's the biggest home dog Kansas City's been in franchise history. Tip of the cap to Evan Abrams with that. What are you expecting out of Oladokun, the kid from South Dakota State? I mean, could you see any way there's anything through the air? Because, like you said, Minnesota, they're down Mason and also Hawkinson, and now Rice and Thornton and others are out for Kansas City, so he's playing shorthanded.
Yeah, not much. And then he's going up against the second best defense in the NFL in Denver, and a Broncos team coming off a home loss against Liam Cohen and Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars. All right, so and now they go on the road Christmas night, and you throw in the whole idea of, with Kansas City, and there's a lot going on. Not in the playoffs, Mahomes, LCL, ACL surgery. We'll see if he's ready for week 1, 2026. And, oh, by the way, we're going to hold a presser this week, and we're moving the team. We're building a new $3 billion stadium. To throw that out to the mix as well, by the way. Thank you. Merry Christmas to the one and all. We're getting a nice dome stadium. So you throw that all into the mix, and now you have the Broncos, and that just ticked up their 2-touchdown favorite. It's hard to think that Oladokun's going to really do all that much. As much respect as I have for that entire Kansas City Chiefs coaching staff, I think they've just hit an abutment. And I think their lack of motivation last week in their performance against Tennessee was alarming.
The conundrum here for Peyton would be, after all these years, do I want to stick it to Andy Reid? And do I want to run up the score? Or do I get ready for what is a huge game Sunday against the Chargers and what could be with the division on the line? I would look at rushing yards over, if you can find those with him, because he ran at South Dakota State, and I think that'll be the game plan a little bit early with Andy Reid. Not to mention Denver blitzes. He takes off and runs. That could happen. 33-yard field goal, both teams in the Denver game. Dallas, longest made field goal in the early game as well. Aubrey's so good. And Quinn shouldn't be kicking long field goals anyways. I'm with Sal, pal. I don't know what the hell that. I'm glad Greg Olson called him out. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Kept punting. You're down 2 scores. He's punting from midfield.
I know. It made no sense. The one thing I would say this is that you've seen it with Peyton at times this year with Denver, is that he coaches teams to win the game in front of them. And that
Okay.
not being over aggressive. And what I
Yeah.
mean by that is not put the ball in harm's way. Bo Nix at times this year has a tendency to turn the football over. So if you look at it and you're Andy and you're Sean Payton, you're going to say to yourself, all right, well, we're at a discernible talent advantage going up against Kansas City, right? Let's do what we need to do to win this football game. We don't necessarily need to run it up. Also, we don't need to do Kansas City any favors by bringing them into the game by being sloppy with the football and being over aggressive. So it'll be interesting to see the tact that Sean Payton has with the Broncos tomorrow night.
They're on an 0-7 ATS run, but when they're a dog of 9 points or more, they've covered 7 in a row. Do with that what you want with the Chiefs. The other thing that would concern me is how Denver plays down to their competition. Beat Tennessee 20-12. They were awful in that game. Nix was terrible. They should have lost that London game to the Jets, 13-11. They were terrible in that game. The Thursday night home game against the Raiders, that was 10-7. And then they beat, the Carroll field goal, but they beat the Raiders by 7 out here as well. And the defense suddenly been giving up a ton of big plays the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. When you look at it, Tiger don't change his stripes, right? So they are kind of what they are. Maybe they do play a little bit down. Maybe Kansas City is able to play that game within the number of 14. I'd be stunned if the Chiefs found a way to win that football game. I don't think that's happening. But I also think, looking at it, I think Kansas City is reaching for that finish line as an organization to kind of get into the offseason and reassess and get themselves ready for 2026.
We'll give you 2 props in the NBA slate tomorrow. 5 good games, all big totals. We'll get to that, and also some great props in the NFL to go over. All team specials, weekly totals, high, low, quarterbacks, passing yards. Will there be a 2-point conversion as safety? Some great props to kick around as well. Coming up next on Follow the Money. So you're listening to this podcast because you want an edge. But what if I told you you're only halfway there? You've got the mindset. Now it's time to get the toolkit to match. Here's the thing. Pro bettors spend thousands on data and tools, but what they don't want you to know is you can get the same edge for a fraction of the cost with VSiN Pro. With VSiN Pro, you get access to expert picks, public betting data, prop projections, powerful tools, analytics, and more. Tap the link in the description and see why thousands of bettors are already using VSiN Pro to cash more bets.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
A lot going on tomorrow. Triple header in the NFL, 5 NBA games. We'll get to the association coming up. Props at DK, Will Hill, Caesars. All teams to score a touchdown, minus 160. I don't like it. There's some bad quarterbacks going. I don't know if that's going to happen. All teams to have a passing touchdown, plus 275. All teams to have a touchdown and a field goal, 4-1. All teams to have a field goal, plus 170. All teams have a rush. Do you? Okay. Yeah, I like that.
I would take all teams to have a field goal plus 170.
I trust 5 of the teams with their kickers. That's fair. All teams to have a rushing touchdown, 10-1. 2+ touchdowns, 6-1. That's aggressive. I would need more than that. What we're looking at.
I would need more than 6-1. Yeah, I need double digits for that. But all teams for a field goal. Listen, I like that at plus 170. I don't like all teams to have a touchdown based on the weak quarterback play. What you just mentioned, Pauly.
Points in every quarter, plus 110.
For all games.
Yes, all games. Will there be a scoreless quarter? These are high totals.
Yeah, these are. I
like
like that plus 110. I could see a points in every quarter of every game. I could see that. You're going to definitely see that in Dallas and Washington. Detroit is going to try and score. I mean, and then you get to the Denver game. I don't know how many points Kansas City is going to score, but Denver should be able to move the football. Yeah, I kind of like that.
Most rushing yards is fascinating. There's so many guys. Gibbs is the favorite with Williams. Maybe Rodriguez could go off. Also, a ton of guys listed for most receiving yards. Lamb and Pickens are your top choices along with St. Brown. They also have high-low. Team with the most points and the lowest points. Kansas City is as high as $2 for the fewest points. And if you want to get nuts, can you get 70-1? What am I? You can get 50, 60-1 on the Chiefs to score the most points tomorrow. If somehow Andy Reid can work some magic and they shock the world and pull the upset.
Yeah, that's maybe if you hit the Christmas Day bar a little bit too early, you're going with Andy Reid and the Chiefs, the third straight quarterback at 50-61, or you just got, for beer and pizza money. I kind of like Chris Rodriguez to have the most rushing yards.
Oh, right.
Because, I would, because Dallas, Quentin Williams concussion protocol, Dallas obviously put an importance on trying to stop the run. You look at Washington, if they're going to try and win it, it's not going to necessarily be totally through the air. If they're able to stay within reach, that keeps Rodriguez in that ground game in the mix. I kind of like him a little bit to have the most rushing yards on Christmas Day.
All right. Good thoughts there. Let me see if he's a better price at DK with the rushing. Where did it go? Because he's plus 750. Yeah, plus 750 there as well. Most rushing.
That's not bad. Plus 750.
Yeah.
What's Gibbs right now? Gibbs is.
Oh, it's like 250.
250. Yeah.
No way. No way.
No.
After what they did against Pittsburgh, absolutely not. Okay, 5 games in the association. Let's start with your Knicks. 5.5 against the Cavs. 239.5 the total. Knicks have been great at home. 14-2 at home. Second best record in the East. And the Cavs are in disarray. The disconnect here with Atkinson, what we hear from our guy Tony Rizzo in Cleveland, only 3 games over 500, and the worst team, ATS, in the league. I like the Knicks here. I think we agree that the Knicks win and come out with a statement. We thought these would be the 2 best teams in the East. Anything but, as the Cavs are sitting there and right now be lucky to be in the play-in with the way they're playing.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I'd lay the 5 with the Knicks. You mentioned the Cavs 9-22 against the spread on the season. As good as Kenny Atkinson was year 1 out in Cleveland, it has not gone that way year number 2. And obviously the Cavaliers coming into the season, you thought, with Tatum ruptured Achilles and Halliburton ruptured Achilles, the Cavs would learn from the experience a year ago. And it seems like that playoff, when they burned out, kind of took them off the rails based on what's transpired this season. The Knicks have hit the ground running. Mike Brown, the impact, he was brought in to be, help this team offensively. They've been remarkably offensively efficient. He's using and developing the bench more than Tom Thibodeau ever did. This is exactly what the New York Knicks wanted. I think it's going to be an early Knick afternoon on Christmas Day with that noon tip-off, with them laying 5 at home against the Cavs.
Okay, here we go again. The Spurs have knocked off the Thunder the last 2 meetings. OKC has 4 losses, 2 of them to San Antonio. Spurs laying a big number tomorrow. They were outscored 60-45 in the paint, 19-5 fast break points. First time all season they were down 20. They're laying 9.5. Barnes went off. Castle played well. You could look at Barnes over 1.5 made threes. It's juicy. A lot of juice, though, $1.80, but he will take a lot of threes. Or you could, if you don't want to look at too much juice, you could maybe go points over with Barnes, as it's $1.10 to have 10+ in this game. But is there revenge here for the Thunder? Or do the Spurs have their number, and this could be the Western Conference Finals matchup? Spurs are on fire.
Well, think about it. The line's almost begging you to take San Antonio. The success that they've had against Oklahoma City, you're looking, wait a second. I'm getting 9.5 with the San Antonio Spurs, and they played Oklahoma City well. Maybe they just have their number. I'd go the opposite way, Pauly. I would take Oklahoma City to get a little bit of revenge, laying the 9.5 at home. Thunder, obviously, I still think they're the class of the West. Wemby and the Spurs, obviously a team on the rise in that Western Conference. There's no question about it, but I would lead OKC laying the 9.5.
All right, Golden State, I think, laying too much here. Dallas playing well.
No doubt.
The big win against Denver, 131-130. How about the run that Flag is on? 33-9, 16-6. 24-4-3, 23-10-4. His assist prop tomorrow is 3.5. 9, 6, 4, 6, 8. That's his game log. You could ladder this as well. And what you see the total, 228. And remember, Jimmy Butler, so much going on with the Golden State and the drama. Butler calling him out defensively. Green gets into it with Kerr. Kerr says, not my finest moment. The owner responds email to a fan. The fan puts it on Reddit. Lacob's criticizing Kerr. They're not playing well. But I think Dallas is live here. And also, you got to go with Flag. Flag assists over. The kid's been great going back the last week, 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, Paul, I love Cooper Flag, and he's going to be great for the Dallas Mavericks, and he's going to be a great for the NBA overall. And he's starting to gain a foothold here in the association after what he was last year for the Duke Blue Devils. But I agree with you. There's too much drama going on with Golden State, too much bad mojo, so to speak,
Yeah.
to think that you're going to lay 7.5 with the Warriors, even though they're home against the Dallas Mavericks. I agree. I think the Mavs are live tomorrow afternoon.
Yep. Okay, so this is unfortunate what happened, where it's a pretty good matchup with the Rockets and the Lakers at 5 o'clock Pacific. The Lakers, no, they didn't have Luka, but they got drilled in Phoenix, and the score wasn't that close as they gave up almost 140 points. Afterwards, Redick said defense and effort is a choice, and they didn't show much effort defensively, and that thing was over early in the third quarter. Then the Rockets, even though they're favored, they've been a disappointment as far as I'm concerned with the record, 17-10. They got blasted in L.A. against the Clippers last night. So Houston, 2.5 and 231 against the Lakers. I think there'll be points in this one. L.A. 24th in defense.
Yeah, I think there are going to be points in this one, and I like the messaging from Redick. And we talked a little bit about it earlier in the show, Pauly, where sometimes you got to light a fire under your team. Sometimes you got to use the media and say things in the media to grab your team's attention, and that's exactly what JJ Redick did. And I would imagine you're going to get a better performance from the Los Angeles Lakers tomorrow night against the Houston Rockets. I agree that Houston's been disappointing this year. Expected more from them than what you've gotten here through the first 25 plus games. I think I think they're going to get points. I'd agree with you about the over, and I kind of like the Lakers. I think they're live at +2.5.
Okay. And how about the night game, the late game? Denver at home against Minnesota. Minnesota's had their number. Minnesota's won 8 of 10. They're 20-10 on the season, currently the 5 seed. Their issue has been horrible fourth quarters, especially the last 3 minutes of a game. They blew the Phoenix game. They blew the Sacramento game. Denver, number 1 in offensive efficiency. They've won 7 of 10. But with injuries and a bad defensive performance last night, you saw what happened. They have a couple of questionable losses here, where it's like how they lose these games, but they have problems guarding people. That also is a high total. A big boy, 239.5.
Yeah, is it strange that I like the over?
No,
I would take the over
no.
239.5. I think you're going to get points in this one. You know, you mentioned the lack of, Denver's really good offensively, defensively, not so much. Minnesota has had success against the Denver Nuggets. You know, the Minnesota Timberwolves coming off a victory against the New York Knicks on Friday. I think you're going to see points in this one. I'd go over 239.5. I don't really have a feel in terms of the side. I wouldn't feel comfortable laying the 3 or getting the 3, but I think both teams are going to score.
And based on that number alone, big number, 239.5, still Denver has gone over that number 8 of the last 10 with how high scoring their games have been as well. So I think there'll be some fireworks in that one coming up, and a great NBA schedule, and Wemby going against the Thunder again. Think you know sports get paid for with Better Picks, the daily fantasy app that turns your sports knowledge into real cash. Download Better. Pick more or less on your favorite player's stats. If your pick hits, you win. New users get free money just for signing up. No deposit required. When you do deposit, you get a 50% match up to $200. Play all the sports, UFC, and even golf. Better.app. Download Better today. Promo code VSiN for your free money and deposit bonus. BETR. Better.app. We have a game tonight. We haven't forgot about the Hawai'i Bowl. Money coming in on the under. Cal against Hawaii. Matt Youmans live from the stadium coming up. We'll get a weather report. He has a pick on the game and also some NFL picks straight ahead on Follow the Money. VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, live downtown at Circa.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
All right, getting hot and heavy here. Discussion about food. What the Moose is going to have tomorrow. I don't know.
Yeah.
Getting interesting. This is wild.
I learned something about you, Paul.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned about making a spiral ham for the family, right? And you're like, I'm not a big ham guy. I was like, well, you put a little mustard on it, and you're like, mustard? You go ketchup or maybe mayo. I've never in my life I put ketchup on a hot dog.
Oh, Moose.
I've never gone to a deli and put ketchup on a ham sandwich.
No. Number one, I can't get there with ham. So I know you're going to have a hell of an event tomorrow and a great setup, but it doesn't move the chains for me. But the other one is I just go ham and cheese with little mayo if necessary, or I don't need it. I mean, ham and cheese, I call it good. And a little questionable with the ketchup on the hot dog too. But this mustard on ham. I don't know. We're living in a society. That's where I'm at.
I thought it basically entered a different world. I mentioned that to Pauly, and he was like, "What are you talking about? I've never in my life thought about putting mustard on ham." I'm like, "Are you serious? Really? Never, ever? Like you've never been in the company of somebody in your life that they put mustard on ham?"
I don't condone this either, but my family there would be a little ketchup. Well, ketchup on ham, which is also could be do with that what you want. Ketchup on eggs? Ketchup on eggs, no good. But I've seen people do it. I can't get there either. Ketchup on eggs.
No, my wife does that. I don't like that either.
No.
I agree with you. It's gross.
It's
gross.
I'm with you. It is gross. Hawai'i Bowl.
It's gross.
Hawai'i Bowl tonight. Kickoff coming up 5:00 Pacific. Hawaii. The total was 54.5. Then it got as low as 50.5. Now some 51s out there. We talked to Youmans earlier, and he said, Timmy Chang, he said, we're going to put on a show. Let's go live to Hawaii, the world traveler here. Matt, what do you think now with side and total on this game with Cal taking on Hawaii?
Well, first of all, the important stuff here is that you always put ketchup on ham. There's no doubt about it. When I was a kid, I actually put some mustard on ham a couple times. It's not bad. But it's not an egregious violation like it is to put ketchup on a hot dog.
Yes.
That's one thing you cannot do. All right, so right now I'm standing outside the stadium.
Uh-huh.
I'm standing right outside the stadium. And, Paul, you know that hairpiece I wear every day, so a lot of times I got to glue it on really tight. I did not need any extra glue today because the wind is not that bad at all.
Okay.
And I know the total actually peaked at 55.5, got down to 50 at Circa last night.
Wow.
And I've got three bets on this. It's about a 2-unit bet. I've got over 54, over 52.5, and over 50. And I also got Hawaii +3 early for a smaller play. I think the total was dropping because of the forecast called for wind gusts of around 30 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can tell you right now, standing outside the stadium, it's just breezy. It might be 15-mile-an-hour winds. It feels like less. I don't think wind is going to be that much of a factor. And you've got two quarterbacks here, and Jerron Kiave Sangapatelli for Cal, who wants to put on a show just like Micah Alahado does for Hawaii. These are two freshman quarterbacks who have Hawaiian ties. Look, this is not going to be the Chip Kelly playbook tonight where you hand it off and run up the middle on first down. That's not going to happen all night. Sangapatelli passed for 330 yards and 4 touchdowns in that 38-35 win against SMU in the regular season finale. You know, you can do the math, 73 points in that game in Berkeley. Hawaii's 6-1 at home this season, averaging 30.4 points a game. No Jackson Harris, the wide receiver for Hawaii, and he's their best wide receiver, no doubt about it. But I know Timmy Chang kind of shrugged it off. They got plenty of wide receiver depth, so I don't think that's going to matter too much. Like I said, the wins, I think, were the reason the total was dropping. But right now I can tell you it's not going to be a factor. I don't think it should be a factor at all. No Justin Wilcox, Cal's best defensive coach. Justin Wilcox was fired. He's one of the best defensive coaches in the country. He's not going to be a factor in this game tonight. He's not here. Nick Rolovich and Timmy Chang want to put on a show. Hey, I was here the night in early November when it rained hard for 4 hours, and Hawaii put up 38 points on San Diego State, which came in with the number 2 scoring defense in college football. I think this has got to be a high-scoring game. I like this better than the side. So I think the over is still a play here, and especially a play with the wind not living up to the hype in terms of the forecast.
That's a great break.
Matt, if you had to go with a side, would you lean Hawaii or Cal?
Well, I bet Hawaii +3 early, and I can tell you that I really feel like the side's a coin flip. I thought it should have been lined to pick him at opener. It actually opened 3.5. I didn't get the hook, but I got 3. I thought this game should be a pick 'em. I still think that way. I would lean Hawaii just a little bit.
Well, we had Sal Pell on earlier, and he's on the Buffalo-Philadelphia game. He expects horrible weather, and this was interesting. He questioned how long both quarterbacks could play. That was interesting. But you tell us what you like in the marquee matchup Sunday.
I think the game means a little bit more to the Bills. And when you look at the Bills, they have played their best in the big games at home this season. Mm-hmm. And if you look at Josh Allen's home-road splits, he's been a far better quarterback at home than he has been on the road this season. And I like Buffalo in the elements a little bit better. Philadelphia feels like a fade team to me. I don't know about you guys, but the more you watch the Eagles, you just feel like they don't have it. It feels like the Eagles team of 2 years ago. And I think the Bills are going to play. They're going to be the hungrier team. I like the Bills -1. That's one bet I'm on early. I've got several other games on the card I might play, but I do like the Bills.
All right, this might be the worst game in NFL history. The 2-13 Giants. I'm serious. I don't care. This is off. The 2-13 Giants against the 2-13 Raiders. First time ever. Both teams are on a 9-game losing streak.
Yeah, I mean, do the Raiders? Are they going to play to win? I don't know if there's talk from Max Crosby that I'm not going out there trying to lose a football game, but if you're a highly intelligent organization from the top down, which the Raiders are not. You're not going out there to win this game. You need to lose to get the top pick, and you need to play that way accordingly. And I don't think the Raiders are going to play that way. I think they're going to play to win.
Uh-huh.
I actually lean to the Raiders in this game. And you know what? Moose, you're a New York guy. I've been a big Jackson Dart fan for a long time. And I thought that was a great pick by Brian Dable last year when they took Dart in the first round. However, people change, players change, and the more I watch Dart, it kind of reminds me of Ricky Fowler in his early days when Butch Harmon said, do you want to be a Kardashian or you want to be a serious golfer?
Yeah.
When I look at Jackson Dart, he looks like a guy who wants to be a fashion model and a Kardashian now. And I think that a quarterback can play for the Giants if they have a high draft pick too. So I think both teams should be trying to lose. I think the Raiders will make more of an effort to try to win.
Matt, anything that you like on Christmas Day?
I mean, it's hard to like much on Christmas Day. It's interesting. The Chiefs are on a 7-game ATS skid. Biggest home dogs they've been since 1977 to Snake Stabler and the Raiders. And you got to say, can I take that ugly dog? I can only take the dog. I can only play the Chiefs in that game if I do play it. Now, I was anti-Chiefs last week. They laid down. They quit in that game at Tennessee. I think they'll actually show up and play this week. I might play the dog in that game. But, man, this is an ugly Christmas schedule.
It is. Big Randy McKay was on yesterday, and he made the case for Cleveland, and it's down to 3 as it's correlated because Tomlin came out and said we're going to change the way we think, play, and who plays if Baltimore loses Saturday. It's the lowest total of Aaron Rodgers' career. Steelers 3 and 33.5.
And if, I feel like you should take the 3 with the Browns, and if the Ravens do lose that game, you're going to feel pretty good about that position. You got it on the Browns +3, and that's the same thing I was thinking. And the Steelers, by the way, they played their best football the last 3 weeks, but they've also, we know they're a little bit of a phony team inside the numbers. And by the way, the Browns have won 5 of the last 6 home games against the Steelers. And I do lean Browns. I think you should take a position on Browns +3 now. I expect the Ravens to lose that game in Green Bay. And then you're going to love that position on the Browns. Well, I can't say love. You never love a bet on the Browns. You're going to like your position on the Browns +3.
Marc,
go ahead. Yeah, I had a quick question. I'm sorry, Pauly. Matt, I know you're in and out of Hawaii quick. Any shot you were able to attend a luau while you were out there?
I've been in plenty of luau's, but always in Maui. Every time I go to the Maui Invitational, I go to a luau. I was there in November. Have you been to one? I mean, it's awesome because it's an open bar.
It's awesome.
You can eat and drink. Huh?
No, luau's are great. The pork that they slow roast with the banana leaves, it's great. A little pina colada, it's fantastic.
I highly recommend it to anyone who's never been there, but it's all you can eat, all you can drink, open bar. The luau's, the women are fantastic. It's something you definitely have to experience. We're going to get Paul Howard to Hawaii. Paul, I'm going to bet that you've never been to Hawaii. Is that right?
You are correct. Can't do it with too far of a plane ride with the back. Scares me. Absolutely. It locks up on me.
On, man.
If it locks up, the vacation's ruined. Thanks, my friend. Happy holidays. You're the best.
You bet.
Yeah.
Meli Kaliki Maka.
Marc, you put pineapple on pizza?
What's up? Apple? What would I do? What on pizza?
Pineapple?
Pineapple, no.
Okay.
No. Pineapple and ham on pizza? No. You?
Say no. God, no. No way.
What
we're betting?
Sausage, pepperoni?
Yes.
No.
What we're betting coming up next, and also the best Mike and the Mad Dog story coming up. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Follow the money, VSiN and the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Holidays are back at Starbucks. Share the season with a peppermint mocha made with Starbucks Signature Espresso. Together is the best place to be at Starbucks. And the best gift ideal, you can never go wrong, a Starbucks gift card as well. Everyone will love it. Get to Starbucks. Together, the best place to be. Starbucks.com. You know how I love streaks? Streaks came to an end. Colorado goal in the first 10 at home, 14 in a row. Couldn't get one early against Utah last night. And also Kings. Seattle had lost 17 in a row on back-to-backs and been held to 2 goals or fewer in 16 of them. 3-2 Seattle gets the win against L.A. I give Jonathan Davis a lot of credit. He said the Kings are listless and lifeless right now. And they also were starting a backup goalie. So kudos to him as Seattle gets it done 3-2. That was unfortunate. To the new plays and a lot of action tomorrow. A lot of good props, a lot of creativity. First to pending, Army. You know, if you guys want to take 10 with UConn, you see these crazy moves that have blown up. I don't mind it. Army moneyline early minus 145. It's up to 10 in this game. Originally, UConn opened a 3-point favorite. Mora leaves, takes the Colorado State job. It's a mass exodus. This is Army is now 10 in this game, 9.5. And January 2nd, Fenway. Excuse me, that game's at Fenway. But January 2nd, Navy Lane 4 against Cincinnati. That is up to 7. What are we doing here, Mark? There are 8 bowl games Saturday, in addition to the 2 NFL games. I mean, you couldn't space it out.
That's a lot of.
Yeah.
No spacing out. Well, you got to get them all in before we get to the college football playoffs. And the bowl games now are odd. First off, you got to look at motivation. You know, you get the guys thinking about entering the transfer portal, coaches jumping ship, staffs leaving. It's like for where the bowls were, Pauly, like 10, 15, 20 years ago. And I get we all love the college football playoffs, but unfortunately it's ravaged the rest of the bowl season because that's all a lot of people pay attention to.
Yep. Got to go with our guy Aubrey tomorrow. Cowboys' longest made field goal. Chop it. Don't bet the 3-way. With a honey in the middle, there's some leeway. Take the Cowboys' longest made field goal. Josh Johnson, most passing yards. 16-1. Going against his pathetic Dallas defense. Number 1, he's a veteran. Like Walter Lebowski. You can go against this bad Dallas defense. Or they're forced to play catch-up, too. And they're throwing for much of the second half. That could be as well. But I only have 3 games. And I'm not going with Grosmer. I'm not going with the South Dakota State kid. I mean, I think there's a chance here we can get lucky and run hot with Johnson. Both teams to make a 33-yard field goal in the night game with Denver and Kansas City. And Saints money line against the Titans. Good luck, everyone.
Yeah, I like. Well, I got 2 plays for you. Sure. I'm going to take the Cowboys. I'm going to lay the big number. I like Dallas laying the 9.5, and maybe it ticks up. We talked about that earlier this hour, Pauly. Maybe it goes up to 10, 10.5. That's where, the steam seems to be. I just think Dak and company against that Washington defense. Not saying Johnson can't move it against the Cowboys defense. I just think the efficiency for Dallas is going to be there. I'm going to take the Cowboys. Laying the big number. What is an ugly 3 games for the National Football League on Christmas Day, and the NBA is celebrating because then they obviously can get the focus for the sports fan. And I'm with you. I'm going to take the Saints. You have them on the money line. I'm going to lay the 3 against the Tennessee Titans. You look at it defensively; they've been really good. Yeah. I mean, for the last 5 games, they played like a top 4 defense in the NFL. We talked about Tyler Shuck a little bit earlier on the show in terms of being the offensive player. He's been really, really good for Kellen Moore. And the New Orleans Saints. Olave obviously had a big week last week. Titans, I think that performance last week was more indicative of Kansas City than it was Tennessee. I'm going to take the New Orleans Saints trending in the right direction, laying the field goal in Tennessee against the Titans.
10-1 underrun for the Saints. Think sports, get paid for it. Better Picks daily fantasy app where your sports knowledge turns into real cash fast. Download the Better app. Pick more or less on your favorite player stats, and when your pick hits, you win. New users get free money just for signing up. No deposit required. And when you do deposit, you get a 50% deposit match up to $200. Better has action every day of the year. Always a lineup to build and always a chance to win. Getting started is easy. Head to better.app, BETR. Download Better in the app or Google Play Store. Don't forget to use promo code VSiN to claim your free money and deposit bonus. Better Picks. If you know sports, it's time to prove it. BETR. Okay, so you are a legend. You many years at WFAN. You worked for Mike and the Mad Dog. Marc, give me your best.
Yeah.
Give me your best story, Mike. Now, the thing about Mad Dog is he's hilarious, and I've met him a couple times and interviewed him. He is out of control. He is fascinated by other people's travel. And like how
he
you
loves
get
it.
Yeah, especially across town. Like, how'd you get there? How you doing? I mean, he's just a great character. But what's your favorite story working with Mike and the Mad Dog?
I'll give you. Are you a movie guy, Pauly?
Absolutely.
You like movies?
Yeah.
All right. So Chris and Mike during like the slow season, they love movies, right? But when we get to Academy Award season, they'd love to have like Jeffrey Lyons on and break down the movies and make the selections and so on and so forth. So during slow times in the New York sports scene, like not every day you're going to have something, exciting to dig into, right? Because you're talking New York sports. Sometimes there's a slow period. Like they'd run through the movies that are coming up, right? And a number of years ago, I think you have to go back 20 plus years now. There was and Chris was like half paying attention. Yeah. And Mike was going through the movies that were going to come out. And one of the movies was Daredevil, right? The one that starred Ben Affleck,
right? Which
was a terrible movie. I think Jennifer Garner was also in the movie. Terrible movie, right?
Yeah.
So Mike goes, "Would you go see Daredevil?" And Russo goes, "What's that? What's Daredevil?" And he goes, the blind suit. Ben Affleck's in it. It's about a blind superhero. And Russo goes, "True story?" Mike's like, "No, it's a blind superhero. No, it's not a true story." He goes, "Ah."
Oh, I forgot that was good. I forgot about that one. Oh man, that's good. Oh man, I asked him one time. His voice is in the movie, but not him. He's in Bad Lieutenant with Harvey Keitel. And he goes, I didn't know what I was getting into, he said. I mean, that thing's NC-17, if you've ever seen that movie.
Yeah, but it was great. I mean, two legends, and you grow, to be able to worked on their show for 7 years, Pauly, and, they were, created basically the medium in terms of sports talk radio. And, and I would say this, like you've interviewed Chris and what Mike and Chris were on the air. And you know this in this industry, sometimes people put on kind of like acts or whatever, and they're completely different off the air. What Chris and Mike were on the air is exactly who they were off the air.
Yeah.
There was no difference.
Did you like the 30 for 30?
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I thought it was entertaining. I thought it was fun. But I lived that's why I got involved. I grew up in the tri-state area, and I used to listen to WFAN before I got the opportunity to go out there and work there. And walking into Kaufman Astoria Studios when I was an intern, summer of '98, and there's Don Imus and Charles McCord and Mike and Chris, and you see Mike Breen, it was just, and Steve Cohen, Eric Spitz, it was just insanity when you walked in there, and that was kind of Shangri-La.
Yeah. Do you do the gifts tonight or when you wake up, Christmas morning?
No, tomorrow morning. No,
yeah, you did
tomorrow.
We always did Christmas night. I mean, Christmas Eve night.
Oh, you did Christmas Eve night?
Yeah, loved it.
Really?
That was the move.
That was the move. So what about Santa arriving through the night? How did that play?
Santa, okay. I'll give the parents a 10-second chance here.
No. I was just saying Santa arrived early to the Pauly Howard house.
Santa would get there early, but how it would work out would be Christmas Eve night. We would go, Dad would take us and go look around at the lights. And then suddenly, and you come home, and then I can't believe it, Santa got the job done. Gets in while we're looking at the lights. Yeah, how they would work there.
Oh, I love going. I loved when I was a kid looking at lights. Now my kids ask me, "Hey, can you put up lights on the house?" I'm like, "No, we're not doing lights on the house. It's too much work."
Yeah, you could fall. No good. Absolutely. Little Die Hard tonight. Little Die Hard. Little mustard sandwich with some ham.
Yeah, a little ham and mustard sandwich on a roll with cheese. And for you, Pauly, I'll watch a little Die Hard. Midnight tonight as I'm wrapping gifts. I'll watch a little Die Hard.
I can't believe the ketchup on a hot dog. You got me there. I'm surprised.
You don't put a little ketchup and mustard?
No.
Do you like the sweet onions?
I'm
do you
like
do
Pauly
sauerkraut? None of that?
Pauly Walnuts, little relish. I'll put some relish on there, but I also prefer a Chicago dog. Drag it through the garden as well. It's a good way to attack it as well.
You got to get your vegetables in.
No, not Al Michaels, Puka Nakua. Not happening. No way. All right. So are you good? Did you play the mega lottery? Did you play that? What, $1
I
billion?
did this morning, first thing, before
Okay.
I hit the Italian deli to go get the stuffed shells for Christmas Day.
Beautiful.
That's the appetizer. You got to start the day with a little pasta. Went right to the mobile, the gas station, right there. Stepped in there with my 10-year-old. $20 Powerball tonight. 1.7 billion.
All right, get 2% if it hits.
Pauly, you get 2%. You get 2%. I'll fly you first class. We'll go to Arthur Avenue. We'll get ravioli with Sal Pal.
Right.
How about that?
Right. Last time I was there, we didn't fly first class. I don't understand for some reason. We just had $18 million and we didn't fly first class. Didn't want to splurge, apparently. All right. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. You're the man, Marc.
Merry
Great to talk to
Christmas.
you.
You as well. Thank you.